Hello students, in this video I am going to start a new chapter, that is circles. So usually in our day to day life we will get the shape of circles in all modes. Okay, you can see a wheel, clock, key ring, button, bangle and coins. In all these are having the shape of circle. Then what is the meaning of circle and the terms related to those circles? Here in your textbook they given the circles and its related terms, a review. Okay, first we should know the basic things. In the page number 56, open that book. The collection of all the points in a plane which are at a fixed distance from a fixed point in the plane is called circle. Okay, so this is the collection of all points in a plane paper. Okay, if you take here, it is a plane and these are collection of points with a fixed distance from a fixed point. Fixed point, it has a center, that is we can call it as O. From this fixed point, those points are having the fixed distance. If I draw and join the point, so here we will get OP. So that is radius of that circle. So this is the fixed distance, we can call it as radius of circle, and this fixed point is called center of circle. So in your fair book, write the definition of the circles and draw few circles and mention the required terms. So here I told the fixed point as center, so I am taking it as O, and if I take a line to join the point, any one point on circle, let us take it as P. So this is the fixed distance. So wherever you can draw this from O, you will get the same distance. So that is called radius. Okay. So if I extend that radius to the next end, okay, so here the straight line, so let us take it as Q. So this is also a radius, and the straight line gives us PQ, that is diameter. You can say it as diameter. Diameter is a line which joining two points of the circle which passing through the center. So we can call it as diameter. So diameter is nothing but twice of the radius. So here one formula I can take, that is D equal to 2R. It means D means diameter and twice radius means 2 radiuses. So or else R equal to 1/2 diameter. Okay. So then we can call this PQ as here diameter, PQ as diameter, and OQ equal to OPR radius or radius. Understood? This is the basic concept. Then if I join any two points without passing through center, let us take here A, B. This is the chord. This is the chord, CHORD, chord. Okay, joining any two points on a circle. If this line is passed through the center, then we will get it as diameter. So in your textbook they given diameter is the longest chord, and all the diameters have the same length, which is equal to 2 times the radius. Okay. So here in the figure they given AB is diameter and PQ is chord. Okay, and longest chord is, that is nothing but diameter. Another one concept, the interior part and exterior part. The interior means the inside part of the circle and exterior means the outer part of the circle. Okay. So the point is, the center point is always inside, so we can say that is interior part. And coming to the next concept, so that is arc. Okay, so the total circle is in the shape of arc, that is you can say circular arc. If I divide it into two parts, so here I am taking the one bigger arc. Okay, so I will name it as P Q R. Okay, P Q R. This is major arc. The major means bigger arc. So if I take here a small P Q R, next I will take S P S R. Okay, so this is the minor arc. Minor arc. Okay, so minor arc and major arc difference you got now. And if we join the whole circle, then we can call it as circumference or perimeter of that circle. So major arc and minor arc gives us the total circumference of that circle. So in earlier we got a curve. So if I take the area below the curve and above the curve, so those we can call them as segments, the minor segment and major segment. So let us take one example here. So in this figure I am taking AB as the curve. Okay, so the region or area below that curve which is smaller, then I will take it as minor segment. Minor segment. Similarly, the bigger area means that will be major segment. Major segment. Okay, so here a region between a curve and either of its arcs is called segment of that circular region, or simply a segment of the circle. Here we will find two types, one is minor which is smaller one, and another one is major which is bigger one. The next concept about sectors, the region between an arc and the two radii joining the center to the end points of the arc is called sector. Okay, so here if I take a arc, let us take here one arc. Okay, I will take it as A, B, and if I join A to center and similarly B to center, so the region between arc and the two radii, so that one we can call it as sector. Similarly here also the bigger one is a major and smaller one is minor. So I will take here minor sector and major sector. Major sector. Okay, understood the concept? So here you will get semicircles when the arc which is passing through center, that is nothing but diameter makes here two equal sectors, or else directly we can say it as semicircle. Semi means half of that circle. So a diameter always divides the circle into two equal semicircles. So to understanding all the concept, once again you go through in your textbook also, that is page number 57. They given definitions of minor arc, major segment, minor segment, major sector and minor sector. Okay, now going to the exercise, first one. In exercise 12.1, filling the blanks are there. The center of a circle lies in, where you will get the center of circle, so that is in inside, so that will be the interior of the circle. So first answer is interior of the circle. Next, a point whose distance from the center of a circle is greater than its radius and lies in the dash of the circle. See, if it is greater than radius, then obviously it is out of the circle. So you can say it as exterior of the circle. The longest chord of a circle is, what is that? That is diameter. Diameter is the longest chord. Okay. Next, an arc is a dash when its ends are the ends of a diameter. So, is a semicircle when it's is a semicircle because diameter divides it into two parts. So, which are those? Called semicircle, means half of that circle. A segment of a circle is the region between an arc and where you will get the segment. So, arc and chord of that circle, chord, okay, C-H-O-R-D, chord of that circle. Next, a circle divides the plane on which it lies in totally three parts. One is exterior, and there is interior part and the circle. So, totally three parts it divides. And true or false? A line segment joining the center to any point on the circle is a radius of the circle. See here, a line segment joining the center to any point. So, from center to any point we can easily call it as radius, that is why it is true. First one is true. Okay. Next, a circle has only finite number of equal chords? No, because there are infinite number of points are there. So, we will get here so many chords, that is why it is false. If a circle is divided into three equal arcs, each is a major arc. Okay. So, here first thing they are making here three equal arcs. Okay. Then each is a major arc? No, it is not possible. So, this is also false. Next, a chord of a circle which is twice as long as its radius is a diameter of circle. Yes, obviously the twice of the radius is diameter, that is why this is true. And fifth one, a sector is a region between chord and its corresponding arc. No, that is segment, that is why it is false. Okay, the region between chord and corresponding arc we can call it as segment, not sector. A circle is a plane figure. Yes, it is true. Okay, so once you go through that PDF which I given in the description. The next concept about angle subtended by a chord at a point. Okay, so based on this, here they mentioned one theorem, that is equal chords of a circle subtend equal angles at the center. Okay. So, if you take any two equal chords, here they taking AB and CD. No need of the proof, just you should understand the concept. Two equal chords. So, here taking two equal chords AB and CD. Okay. So, if I join A and B to O and C and D to O. So, here we will get two triangles. So, using these two triangles, here OA, OB, OC, OD, all are radii of the circle, then they are equal to each other, and they only given equal chords, means AB equal to CD. So, by side congruency rule, you can say that these two triangles are congruent to each other. If the triangles are congruent, their corresponding angle should be equal. So, that is AOB is equal to COD, corresponding parts of congruent triangle CPCT. So, by this we can understand that equal chords of a same circle subtend equal angles at the center. So, using this theorem, now we are solving the exercise, that is 12.2. Before exercise, another one theorem, if the angle subtended by the chords of a circle at the center are equal, then the chords are equal. So, this is the reverse of the theorem number 1. So, in theorem number 1 the given equal chords gives equal angles, and theorem number 2 we will get if they gives equal angles, then we will get the equal chords. Okay, so that is reverse of the first one. In exercise second, first question, recall that two circles are congruent if they have same radii. Prove that equal curves of congruent circles subtend equal angles at their center. So it will be easy as if you understand the first theorem. The equal curves gives us equal angles. So let's see, taking two congruent circles. Congruent means so exact same circles. Here draw two circles which having same radius. Okay, roughly you draw it in your notes, and they mentioned they are congruent. Congruent means both having the same radii. So let's take center as here O and another center as Q. Okay, so the equal curves, let's draw two equal curves. Okay, here I am taking two equal curves. Let's take it as A, B, P, R. Okay, and I will join A to O. Use scale. Okay, don't draw freely. Use scale in your fair books. And here I will join OB also. Next PQ to PR. Okay, now here we got two triangles. So in triangle AOB and triangle PQR. First here AO is equal to PQ because this is also radius and this is also radius, and the both circles are congruent, then radius also equal. Next BO equal to RQ, this is also radius. So here I will write radii. Radii means plural form, radii double I, RAD double I, radii of congruent circle, congruent circles. Okay. Next, they only given the curves are equal, AB equal to PR. So this is given. So side congruence rule, side congruence rule, congruency rule, triangle AOB is congruent to triangle PQR. If the triangles are congruent, then their corresponding angles also equal. So here angle AOB is equal to angle PQR. So this is O equal to Q. So here you can write CP CT. So this is our required answer. The second question, prove that if the curves of the congruent circles subtend equal angles at their center, then the curves are equal. So this is reverse of the first one. Earlier curves are equal and we shown that angles are equal. Now they only given angles are equal. Now we have to show that curves are equal. Okay, let's start with this one. Roughly draw two circles. Okay, let's take again here also center O and center Q. Okay, so the curves are subtending two equal angles at center. So I will take here one angle. Okay, so let's name it as AOB, and I will take another one angle here. So let's name it as PQR. And we have to show that this AB is equal to PQ. These curves are equal. So let's do this one using congruency properties again. So here in triangle AOB and here triangle PQ, here make it as R, PQR. Okay, so first start with the sides. AO equal to PQ. AO equal to these are sides, okay, not angles. That is AO equal to PQ. Radii of congruent circle. Congruent circle. Okay, similarly BO equal to RQ, that is also same, radii of congruent circle, and they only given angle at center AOB equal to angle PQR, that is given. So side angle side by side angle side congruence rule. Congruency rule, triangle AOB is congruent to triangle PQR. So if the two triangles are congruent, then their corresponding sides are equal. So that's why AB equal to PR, that is CP CT. So this is our required answer.